We are still with you in the Oracle Database Architecture course, and in this video, we will talk about a very important topic, select statement processing. We will talk about several points, the most important of which are 1. Parse, 2. Execute, 3. Fetch. Let's assume that a user wants to connect to the database and make a query about a specific table. We talked in the previous video that the user first connects to the listener. The listener connects to the Oracle instance and creates a server process. After verifying the connection, a session is opened directly between the server process and the user process. After that, the server process completes all the user's requests in the database. If we assume that the user requested to make a query on the students table, select All from Students. The query is sent to the server process. The server process creates what is called hash for the query statement. It is a decimal code that is created for any SQL statement based on the text of the statement. After that, it is verified that this statement has been executed before in the library cache, or has not been executed before. If this query is found in the library cache, so the SQL area will be present. If this query is not found in the library cache, then the SQL area is created. If we assume that this query does not exist, then the SQL area will be created for this query in the library cache. Then a parse will be made for this query, and it is called hard parse, because the query does not exist in the library cache. So we will do all the parse steps, which are 1. Syntax check. This is to ensure that the query syntax is correct and that there are no errors in the syntax. 2. Semantic check. This is to ensure that the objects and fields are present in the database from the dictionary cache that contains the metadata. 3. Privilege check. Here we ensure that the user has permission to the required objects and fields. And this is confirmed by the metadata in the dictionary cache. If the previous 3 steps are verified, then the SQL is valid. After completing the parse stage with its 3 steps, we move to the execute step. Here, there is a software called the optimizer. Where it performs, the optimizer finds the best way to execute this query, taking advantage of the information it has from statistics and others, and presents it in what is called the execution plan. After the optimizer creates the execution plan, the query is executed, where the server process brings all the blocks related to this query from the data file to the data buffer cache. Of course, if these blocks are already in the buffer cache, they are not brought again. After bringing this data into the buffer cache, a fetch is done for the data by the server process for the user, which is the last step. So the steps are parse, execute, fetch. If this user wants to execute the same query and it is found in the library cache, all the steps will not be repeated. The parse steps will be ignored, and the same execution plan that already exists will be used to execute the query in what is called soft parse. Then, the server process does a fetch and returns the data to the user. We will meet in the next video.